We're going to get started. If everyone would like to move over here to the center of the room. And I'll invite Chief Despain.
Thank you, Nancy. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for another fine event that we're having here at one of our newer fire stations serving Southeast Lincoln. We appreciate you coming out this morning and kind of celebrating a big event for us that we're certainly excited about. Today, we're happy to unveil 7 new fire engines that are coming into the city to provide service. A little bit of history and background, just I think is kind of a significant story, is that every single day our firefighters are responding to calls that are life or death situation, and the ability to get there quickly, efficiently, have the right tools and equipment, provide the service is an ongoing story. We could do that all day long, but we can't do it without good response equipment. And so today reflects a significant investment in Lincoln Fire and Rescue from our City Council and our Mayor in terms of providing that service in the future. So in 2016, when I came in as the fire chief, the fleet was pretty much in crisis level, and what we would say is that it was about 30 to 40% of the apparatus we would say were healthy, and the rest of them were not healthy, meaning we couldn't rely on them to get to the incident every time without a breakdown, without significant downtime and repair costs. Today, with the addition of the 7 that are coming in, plus some investments that have been made over the years with prior councils, we are happy to report that our fleet's closer to about 85% healthy now. That's a significant move in a few years. We're not completely done, but we are so far along. I will sleep better as the fire chief. I'm sure the crews appreciate that. And what this represents is better service to the community, but also for our, you'll hear from our Division Chief Kendall Warnock and his team, from the fire mechanics and the people that try and keep the apparatus running. Less downtime, just more efficient service, some cost savings, which will help me in budget discussions in the future. And so speaking of budget discussions in the future, I'm happy to say a very big thank you to our mayor, who at that time was on the council and made a very bold move to help us secure that. And there were other people that supported that vote, and prior administration, of course, helped support that too. But I'm personally grateful to her for taking the lead on helping us to get that fleet healthy. And so today I'd like to invite her up so she could say a few words and again extend our thank you to her for her helping with our investment. So Mayor Baird.
Thank you, Chief Despain, for your kind introduction and for your leadership in getting us to this day and securing these fire engines for our community. Public safety is our residents' and my administration's top priority, and what these shiny new engines represent is one important way we are acting on that priority. Sorry about that. We have made a major investment in protecting the public, and the Chief did a great job at outlining the benefits that come with the new apparatus. Our public safety personnel, including the newest 12 members of Lincoln Fire and Rescue, who just graduated 2 days ago, they have a really difficult job, and it's critically important that we provide them with the equipment they need to be able to safely and quickly respond to our emergencies. And when these new engines are placed into service in the coming weeks, our fire apparatus crisis will be over. Getting to this point was a team effort, and I'm incredibly grateful to all who played a role, particularly to our LFR team, to the City Council who supported the vote, and I saw some members of our finance department here, and I want to thank them in particular for hanging in there with me when I first went to them and talked to them about taking some money from the cash reserve. Their looks on their faces were not insignificant, and we worked together to identify a reasonable, healthy, reasonable sum to take from the cash reserve to make this day possible, and I'm grateful for their support. But the bottom line for our families and our businesses is this. These new fire engines will empower our firefighters to protect them, to save lives and property. And the first 2 engines are expected to be in service by Christmas. We could not ask for a better holiday present for our city. And on behalf of the entire community, thank you to everyone who played a role, everyone who made this day possible. One person in particular has played a special role in getting to this day, in tracking the data, making some pretty incredible spreadsheets that told the story of our crisis in numbers. And I know I wouldn't have been going to the finance team without the data he provided and the story he told, and knowing how hard he was working to just keep our fleet alive in the past. So I'd like to acknowledge how lucky and fortunate our LFR is to have Kendall Warnock on staff, and invite him up to speak more about what's next for the fleet. Thank you so much, Kendall.
So, good morning, everybody. Like Chief and Mayor indicated, you know, the apparatus was literally on life support the last few years. And the challenge is multifaceted. Some of the weekends, we had some challenges. We just didn't know if we were going to make it through the weekend with some of our apparatus, our engines. It's challenging, it's nerve-wracking, but when Mayor Gaylord Baird went to bat for us it's been about 18 months ago when we started this process, Chief Despain, Chief Borer, we need to thank the previous administration too, Mayor Beitler, as well as City Council members, Cindy Lamb, John Camp, and Carl Eskridge too. They were all on board with these purchases as well. So again, major step for us today. We're looking forward to outfitting these, getting them in service. A couple Christmas presents for Engine 1 and Station 1 and Station 9. Looking forward to getting these in service right away. The process couldn't have been better for us, for the city, for the Lincoln Fire. We've got Craig Brooks from Spartan, who's representing Spartan today. Feld Fire, we'd like to give a shout out to and thank you as well for representing Spartan and getting these apparatus built in a timely fashion. We signed the contract for these on February 20th of 2019. So to turn these around and build these fire trucks in a 10-month span, a huge thank you to Feld Fire and Spartan for making that happen. So any questions for me this morning? Thank you.
Does anybody have some questions? No? Okay. Thank you all very much for coming.